Okay, I know this is weird, but I actually really do want to give away my cookbooks. I love cookbooks, but I just have too many of them, and I'm not enjoying them like I should or like I could be. So this week, I took the opportunity to work through one of my favorites, the Pioneer Woman Cooks. I had already made about 90% of the recipes in there, but there were a handful that I wanted to try before passing it on. And so I tried to video myself making some of these things with limited success. The videoing, I'm not very good at this yet. I'm a new YouTuber. So I'll try to show you some of that footage, but all that to say, I'm going to be giving away this cookbook in the next couple of days to somebody who's watching this video who just says that they want it. And I will be doing this every couple of weeks until I work my way through my cookbooks and have a clean slate. I probably have more than 100, so it will take a while. But follow along and you'll see some of the things I made. I'll tell you what some of my favorite recipes are, and at the end of this video, leave me a comment if you would like to have this cookbook. Okay, like I said, this week I worked through the Pioneer Woman Cooks. It's a Ree Drummond cookbook, very popular. I'm sure you're familiar with it. I've made so many of these recipes. These potato skins have been a favorite in my house for many years. I make them when we have company. Everyone loves them. The sour cream pancakes, that's another really, really good one. We make them on special occasions, not all the time. You can see how loved this cookbook is. I mean, the pages are coming out of it. It's true. The roast. This is, everybody makes this. If somebody is making a roast, they'll just say, oh, I'm just making the Pioneer Woman roast, because it's just fail-proof. It's really good. It's tender and it's just easy. The chicken spaghetti is good. I've made that. Oh, the chicken pot pie. That is my go-to chicken pot pie recipe. You think, well, how different can it be? But, who knew adding turmeric could make a big difference? Oh, this chocolate sheet cake is really good. When my kids were teenagers, I made this all the time for them and their friends. It's yummy and it makes a lot. The blackberry cobbler, this is my son's favorite. We, at one time, had a lot of blackberries, had access to blackberry bushes, and I made this all the time. It's very, very easy. Anyway, so many of these recipes in here. This week I tried a few new ones, and let me try to show you some of them I made. I have heard that this olive cheese bread is probably her most loved recipe, and I have yet to try it. So this week, I'm trying it. Okay, I have preheated the oven to 325 degrees, and now I just basically need to slice up, just kind of chop up all of these olives. So I have some green olives with pimentos and some black olives. So now those are pretty much chopped up. You just need it kind of a rough chop. And then I have a couple of green onions, which I'm also going to chop up. So we have green olives, black olives, and green onions. Then we're going to combine into a bowl about a half a cup of mayo, a stick of butter, Jack cheese. This is a pound of Monterey Jack cheese, the olives, and the green onions. Just put it, let me move this over here so you can see it. So we're just going to put it all in there, and then we're going to mix it all up together. She says after you get this all mixed up that you should grab a cracker and just taste it. She said it's really good just to eat it with a cracker. But I don't think I'm going to do that. It probably is really good, but I'll just take her word for it. So I think I've been mixing for a couple minutes, and I think that's pretty well mixed up. Now I have French bread that I have just sliced in half horizontally, and basically all you do is you just top this bread with all of this good mixture, and then we're going to put it in the oven for about 20 or 25 minutes, or until it's like good and toasty and melty. Okay, so let's look and see. Is it ready?
Looks good.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Okay, that looks really good. So maybe we should let it cool off for just a minute, you think? It's gonna burn our mouths if we eat it right now. Andy is scraping the pan. We haven't cut the bread yet. Good. Is it good?
It is.
Okay, we're gonna cut it. Just gonna cut some pieces.
This is not the right
And my daughter is walking in the door just on time. Hey, how is it?
It's good. What do you think?
It's good.
Good.
I like it. Today I made Ree's great-grandmother's prune cake with buttermilk icing, and it was delicious. Don't let the idea of prunes scare you. It was so good. I'll definitely be making this again. So I began by preheating the oven to 300 degrees and buttering a 9x13 pan. Then I took about a cup of prunes and put them in a pan and covered them with water and let them cook. They needed to just cook for about 8 minutes or so until they got soft. And while that was happening, I went ahead and sifted together my flour mixture by putting in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of allspice, and then I grated in some nutmeg. She calls for a teaspoon. I don't know that I actually have that much there. In a separate bowl, I mixed together 1 cup of sugar, 3 eggs, a cup of canola oil, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I just mixed it all up. And then I added my dry ingredients in with my wet ingredients and mixed that up. And then added in about a cup of buttermilk. And don't forget about those prunes. Once they have gotten nice and soft, you want to drain them and put them on a plate and mash them up and add them to the batter as well. Stir in those prunes and then pour your batter into your prepared baking dish. Put it into the preheated oven for about 40 minutes. The cake will be nice and moist. Be sure you don't overcook it. Then it was time to make the icing. So in a small pan, I mixed 1 cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you just let it come to a boil over medium-high heat. She says that you don't need to stir it, but I wasn't quite that brave. I kept going back to stir it. But anyway, it supposedly boils for about 7 minutes or so until it gets to be like the color of caramel, but not yet sticky. You need to be able to pour it. When the cake is finished, remove it from the oven, and while it is still warm, you pour the icing over it. She says you need to work fast because the icing begins to soak into the cake. It kind of, on this video and in real life, it looked like it was not soaking in at all, but kind of pooling, but it eventually did soak in. And again, it was so good. And you're supposed to lick the spatula also, which I definitely did. I actually made several of her recipes this week. I made her pie crust one day and she recommended freezing it, which I did, and it turned out great. I ended up making the apple pie, the handheld apple pie that that is one of her recipes. I'd never made that, and it was really, really good. I made the chicken pot pie also, which is, like I said, I've made that a million times, but normally with a store-bought pie crust, and this time I made it with hers. I also made her fried chicken, but that didn't turn out so well. But I attribute that to operator error. I'm sure it is not Ree's fault. I'll have to try that again sometime. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun going through this cookbook, and now I am ready to pass it on. So if you would like to receive this if you would like for me to mail this cookbook to you, just say in the comments below, I would like to have that cookbook, and I don't mind that the pages are falling out of it. And I will pick somebody to send it to, and if nobody wants it, then I guess I'll just give it to my local thrift store, because one way or another, I'm going to cull my cookbooks. But thank you for watching this video if you've watched it all the way to the end. If you are not familiar with my channel, A Book Worth Reading, the primary purpose for this is that I'm reading 52 books this year, and if you would like to join me on that journey, I would love to have you. I think I'm at book 12 or 13 now. But anyway, that's been a lot of fun. This is just something extra. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be posting another one of these cookbook videos sometime in the next couple or 3 weeks. Have a great day.